Welcome back, everybody. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. In today's video, we are going over every single skin that hasn't been in the item shop for 300 days or more. So people constantly ask me, what is the rarest skin in my locker? And I usually will say the Black Knight, but I would say any battle pass skin you own, unless it's from season 1, like the Renegade Raider or the Aerial Assault Trooper. And I really wouldn't consider those battle pass skins. Besides those, everything else isn't really all that rare. There are thousands and thousands, maybe even up to 1 million people who own the Black Knight, so I really wouldn't consider that one the rarest skin. But the answer is pretty hard to give because there are so many skins out there that have only been in the item shop a few times, and they haven't been in the item shop for over 300 days, so those could be more rare than the Black Knight. And rarity is solely dependent on how many people own the skin. So I would say a lot of these skins on this list could be more rare than the Black Knight, and some of them could be more rare than the Recon Expert. But there's really no way of knowing unless Epic Games gives us the numbers of how many people own every skin. And I really don't see that happening. But guys, I know it's been in probably tons of videos you've seen before, but if you guys didn't know, there are only 80% of the people watching right now who are subscribed to my channel. So for all of you who are not subscribed, make sure to drop a sub, drop a like, guys, and use my code COBESMIND if you guys could. All right, guys, that's enough of that. Let's hop right into it. So the first skin we're going over is the Axiom, and this one was seen 315 days ago. So I will go over my opinions on whether I believe these should be in the item shop more often, or the reasoning why they're not in the item shop more often. So first off, I definitely believe this one should be in the item shop a lot more often. It has that creativity factor. It has so many colors going on with it: the blue, the gold, the black, the brown. You would think these don't work, but oddly enough, I think it is a pretty detailed skin that ends up working with the color scheme. All these colors seem to mesh up fairly well and a lot better than you would expect. I definitely can understand why this one hasn't been seen for 315 days. There's too much going on with it. The color scheme is all over the place. This one, it just wasn't good enough in most people's eyes, and that's why we haven't seen it for so long. Next up, we have the Sea Dominator, last seen 330 days ago, and this one is surprising to me. I definitely like it more than the Dark Vanguard, and it comes in the same set. I love the sea theme for this one. It feels creative, but I feel like at the end of the day, the brown color scheme with that very dull gold and a little bit of green, most people aren't just vibing with that color scheme. I honestly think this is a very good looking skin, and I'm going to show you a picture right here. It's actually a skin I dropped a 20 bomb with when it first came out. I absolutely love it. Next up, we have the Tech Ops that was last seen 337 days ago. I think when we boil these down, a lot of it has to do with the color scheme. I think the first 3 designs have great skin designs, but the color scheme that follows really isn't that great. This one, maybe it's the very dull color scheme for the green. That's all I can really say. Regardless, this is a pretty good skin. I really don't see much wrong with it. I think it falls into the category of maybe average to above average. We have the Shin. I've never known how to pronounce this one, guys, but she was last seen 339 days ago. And obviously, we've already talked about the Axiom, and these are in the same set. Surprisingly enough, the girl skin didn't come out sooner than the guy skin did. Typically for these, it's going to be mostly guy skins that are just flops. If you are a girl skin, it's going to be a lot harder for you to be a flop and not be in the item shop more often. Something like the Sea Dominator, yeah, it's a girl skin, but you don't really see the girl's face, so I can understand why that one hasn't been in the shop for a while. But something like the Shin, I really don't understand why it's not in the shop. You guys are going to have to tell me why you think it isn't. Next up, we have the Wreck Raider that was last seen 348 days ago. I really feel like there is no explanation that I have to give for this one. It's just a fairly bad skin with a bad color scheme. We already have 2 other girl skins with the same design, so there's no surprise to me that this one isn't in the shop. We have the Moniker that was last seen 348 days ago. This one has some art on the back of his sweatshirt. I'm wondering if that art was taken away away and it was just like a guy in a hoodie, if this one would be more popular. I really feel like it would be. This is literally one of the most simple skins ever seen before, especially for a guy skin. It's like a regular person you would see at Walmart, but for some reason this one isn't very popular. I really don't understand the reasoning behind this one. For how sweaty people are, you would think this one would be popular. We have the Cypher that was last seen 354 days ago. This one was last seen in April of 2018 and it should be left there. The style for it is just out of date. It looks okay, but there's just something wrong about it. It looks like an outdated skin, and that is the reason why it hasn't been in the shop for so long. Next up, we have the Merino that was last seen 360 days ago. I really love the design of this one. I understand that it is somewhat plain, but isn't that what people like? The color scheme is pretty unique, and it does remind me of the Moniker. The Moniker, yes, it is a plain skin, but he does have a very colorful back. And this guy has a very colorful shirt, so maybe that's the reasoning why these ones haven't been in the shop and why they aren't very popular. We have the SAS Sergeant that was last seen 368 days ago, and this one, guys, I absolutely love. I don't really have a reasoning as to why this one isn't in the shop. This is another one where you guys are gonna have to tell me, what do you find wrong about this skin? What don't you like? I think it is a very simple skin, but it does have a little bit of creativity going for it, and I really like it. The color scheme is somewhat dull, and it does remind me of a skin that came out a very long time ago. Maybe it is outdated, but I just like it more than something like the Cypher. We have the Stage Slayer last seen 370 days ago. I just don't like this design. It's not based on anybody. It's a musician, and this was, I'm pretty sure, before they actually added like icon series. So maybe that's why this one was such a failure, because who wants to buy a random musician they don't know about, especially someone who looks like this, when you could buy a real musician that maybe you look up to. We have the Black Widow and the Star-Lord last seen 372 days ago. So don't worry, guys, these will come back to the shop. I would put money on it. These are both skins people like. Epic Games just needs to wait until another Marvel movie comes out, and then trust me, guys, these ones will come out. Next up, we have the Sleuth that was seen 377 days ago. I actually think this is my favorite detective design out of the three. If there are more, make sure to correct me. But from the original set, there were 3 detectives, and this one was my favorite. I'm noticing a pattern of the brown color scheme, and people just not really vibing with it. People don't like it all that much. But to me, this one is a must cop if it comes back out. It doesn't have the best back bling, but the skin, it's very unique, and I love it. The Cloudbreaker was last seen 382 days ago. Again, I'm noticing a pattern of the brown color scheme really not getting much love from you guys. I don't personally like this skin, and there's not much to say about it. The Triage Trooper was last seen 395 days ago. This skin has so much going for it. It has the detail, it has the color scheme, it has the theme of being a medic skin as well. This one is just so perfect to me. I don't know why it's not in the shop. Next up, we have the Ruckus that was last seen 409 days ago. This one must be due to the brown color scheme, because I just can't find another reasoning for it. I think especially when you're using this one in game, it does look a lot different than the front of the picture right here. I highly recommend this one. I think it is a good skin. Next up, we have the High-Rise Assault Trooper that was last seen 417 days ago. This one is a mixture of vomit and diarrhea, and that's the color scheme of it. It's horrible. We have the Instinct and the Reflex that were last seen 435 days ago. So I don't know why these aren't more popular. Mr. Fresh Asian literally mains, or at least he claims to main, the Reflex. He really doesn't use it all that much anymore, but that's the skin you're gonna see when you click on his channel. And the Instinct is something that one of my Twitch friends uses all the time, Pluralism. So I don't understand why these two don't come back to the shop. They're perfect sweaty skins. They have the detail and the color scheme. They have the support of Twitch streamers, of YouTubers, but for some reason they don't come back to the shop. So I feel like there's got to be a reasoning behind it that's a little bit deeper that I'm just not understanding. And yes, the Reflex does have that exclusive stealth Reflex skin, but the Instinct doesn't, so that one should definitely come back to the shop. We have 4 skins that that were last seen 439 days ago: the Desperado, Ventura, Venturion, and the Backbone. There's no discussion for the Backbone. It's horrible. I hate it. It's disgusting. For both of the superhero skins, I do have a theory that maybe it's due to Marvel and DC having skins in Fortnite. So Epic Games really doesn't feel like releasing their superhero skins when they have the backing of huge companies like Marvel and DC. Desperado is just an outdated skin, guys. That's it. We have the Devastator that was last seen 440 days ago. This one is outdated for sure. We have the Steelsite that was last seen 441 days ago, and this has been a skin I've always hated on since the first day it came out, and I still hate it. The Tower Recon Specialist was last seen 454 days ago, a plain boring default skin that no one can like, and no one should be spending money on for sure. The Kit Bash last seen 456 days ago, one of those meme skins that just flopped, and just like the Yeehaw, it was seen 461 days ago, another one of those meme skins that just flopped. I think the Yeehaw is absolutely horrible and unneeded. I love the Kit Bash, and I think it's a dope skin with a good back bling as well. For the next 5 skins, I'm gonna sort of speed through them because I think they all have the same reasoning as to why they're not in the shop right now. The Absolute Zero was last seen 467 days ago. Hyperion last seen 468 days ago. Special Forces last seen 474 days ago. Radiant Striker last seen 487 days ago. And the Brilliant Striker last seen 510 days ago. So for all of these, I'm pretty sure they all came out before season 3, or at least before season 4. And that's the reasoning. They're all outdated, they're not that special, and no one's going to use them. The Hack-A-Vat was last seen 514 days ago. This is just overall a bad skin. It's very obvious to me why this one isn't in the shop. The Far Out Man was last seen 533 days ago, and this one really reminds me of the Stage Slayer. He has a similar look to him. Even though the color scheme is a lot different, I would say the look is just strikingly similar, and it doesn't work in Fortnite. For the second rarest item shop skin, excluding the Recon Expert, we have the Diecast that was last seen 539 days ago. I have no reasoning as to why this one hasn't been in the shop. I feel like I see it in like teasers, when I see the loading screens, the new leak loading screens so often. I'm always seeing it in the background of different things that Epic Games promotes, but they don't release it. I don't know why this one hasn't been released in so long. I think it's a pretty solid skin. For the number 1 rarest item shop skin, except for the Recon Expert, we have the Midnight Ops that was last seen 566 days ago. This one, I completely understand why it hasn't been in the shop. It's a horrible skin. It's one of my most hated skins in this game. Oddly enough, I do own it though. I never use it. I think it's horrible. I don't think you guys want it. And then for the Recon Expert, it was last seen 912 days ago, guys. A little fun fact, the Rogue Agent, if you guys bought that early on, was last seen 604 days ago, which is absolutely insane. So I think there are a few patterns as to why these skins haven't been in the shop for so long. A lot of them have an ugly color scheme like brown. Some of them are outdated. Some of them are just plain bad and no one could like them, but they're not outdated, or they don't even have a bad color scheme. Or maybe there is some reason Epic Games isn't releasing a few of these. Maybe it's because they can't legally. Something like the Reflex, or maybe the Star Wars skins. Maybe for the Star Wars skins, they can't release it until Marvel says so. And maybe for the Reflex, since it was an exclusive skin, maybe they can't drop that alongside the female counterpart as well. So you guys are gonna have to tell me what you think. What is the skin you want back the absolute most? I think I own every single skin on this list except for one, and that is the Cloudbreaker, and I just don't care about owning that skin. It's absolute trash. But make sure to tell me if you guys own any of these skins on this list. Drop a like, subscribe, turn on those notifications as well. Use my code COBESMINE in the item shop, guys. I would appreciate it. Bye, guys.